Have you ever noticed how certain foods you used to love just don't sit right anymore? Maybe you feel more bloated after meals, or your energy crashes out of nowhere. Or maybe your joints ache more than they used to, and you're wondering, is this just aging, or is it something I'm eating? The truth is, after 60, your body starts to respond differently to the foods you put in it. What helped you power through your 40s and 50s might now be dragging you down without you even realizing it. And the scary part? Some of the most harmful foods for seniors are the ones we've been told are perfectly fine, even healthy. That's why today, we're going to talk about 5 foods that could be quietly stealing your energy, harming your heart, and even speeding up aging. And more importantly, what you should be eating instead to feel your best at any age. This isn't about going on some extreme diet or giving up all the things you love. It's about making smart, simple swaps that support your health and keep you feeling strong, independent, and full of life. Let's start with something almost everyone has in their pantry: white bread. It's soft, it's comforting, it's familiar, but it's also a blood sugar disaster. White bread is made from refined flour, which means all the fiber and nutrients have been stripped away. What's left is basically fast sugar. The moment you eat it, your blood sugar spikes, and what goes up must come down. That crash is what leaves you tired, foggy, and craving even more carbs. Over time, this constant roller coaster can increase your risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and even memory problems. And here's the thing. It's not just bread, white rice, regular pasta, crackers. They all do the same thing. Now, the good news is you don't have to give up bread entirely. Swap it for a hearty whole grain option. Look for 100% whole wheat, oat, or rye bread, something dense and full of fiber. Even better, try sprouted grain bread. It's easier to digest and has a lower impact on blood sugar. You'll feel fuller longer, your energy will stay more stable, and your body will thank you. Now let's talk about something a little sneakier: processed meats. You know the ones: ham, bacon, sausage, deli turkey. They're easy, they taste good, and they've probably been part of your meals for decades. But here's the harsh truth. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, nitrates, and preservatives that can wreak havoc on your body, especially as you get older. The high sodium content can raise your blood pressure, which puts extra strain on your heart and kidneys. And those nitrates, they've been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers and can lead to chronic inflammation in the body. If your joints are constantly sore or swollen, what you're eating might be making things worse. Instead of grabbing a few slices of deli meat, try making your own roasted chicken or turkey breast at home. Slice it up and keep it in the fridge. For easy sandwiches or salads, it's fresh, it's flavorful, and you know exactly what's in it. Another great option? Tuna or salmon packed in water. A protein-packed choice that also gives your brain a boost thanks to omega-3s. And speaking of sneaky foods, let's take a moment to talk about something that might surprise you: margarine. For years, margarine was marketed as the healthy alternative to butter. But many types of margarine, especially the older stick versions, are made with hydrogenated oils, also known as trans fats. And trans fats are one of the worst things you can put into your body, especially after 60. They raise your bad cholesterol, lower your good cholesterol, and increase your risk of heart disease and stroke. Not to mention, they can contribute to memory loss and cognitive decline. Even if the label says 0 grams of trans fat, check the ingredients for anything that says partially hydrogenated oil. That's the giveaway. So what's the better option? A little real butter? Yes, real butter, in moderation, is often a better choice. Even better, try avocado spread or olive oil-based options. Both are rich in healthy fats that support your heart, your joints, and your brain. Remember, fat isn't the enemy. The type of fat makes all the difference. Now, I know we've already touched on some heavy hitters here, and if you're thinking, wait, I've been eating this way for years, you're not alone. Most of us grew up during a time when convenience foods were on the rise and health advice kept changing. But the beautiful thing about our bodies is that they're always trying to heal. Even small changes made today can lead to big improvements in how you feel tomorrow. So we've covered white bread and refined carbs, processed meats and margarine. These may seem like everyday staples, but once you understand how they affect your body, it's easier to make better choices. Not just for your health, but for your energy, your independence, and your peace of mind. Let's keep going, because there are still a couple more foods you'll want to steer clear of, especially one that many seniors reach for every day without realizing how much damage it could be doing. And that food is something you'll find in almost every home, often sitting right next to the coffee maker or tucked inside the refrigerator door. I'm talking about sugary drinks. And yes, that includes fruit juices that claim to be natural or healthy. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with enjoying something sweet once in a while. But when we're talking about sodas, sweetened teas, energy drinks, and even those 100% fruit juices, the amount of sugar packed into just one glass can be shocking. You might think you're making a better choice by pouring yourself some orange juice in the morning, but one cup can have as much sugar as a candy bar. And the worst part? You're drinking it so fast, your body barely has time to react. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down. That means sugar doesn't get processed as efficiently, and when you're constantly drinking your calories, especially in the form of sweetened liquids, it can lead to spikes in blood sugar, increased belly fat, and even fatty liver disease. Not to mention, sugary drinks are one of the biggest contributors to inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which are directly linked to cognitive decline and memory issues. But here's the really frustrating part. These drinks don't fill you up. In fact, they often make you hungrier. You drink them, you feel a quick hit of energy, and then a crash that leaves you reaching for a snack. It's a vicious cycle, and for seniors who are trying to maintain a healthy weight, stabilize blood sugar, or just feel more in control of their health, it's one of the biggest hidden traps. So what can you do instead? The easiest fix is to hydrate with water, of course. But if plain water feels too boring, infuse it with lemon, cucumber, or a few slices of fresh berries for flavor. Herbal teas, unsweetened, are another fantastic choice, especially calming ones like chamomile or mint that can even help with digestion and sleep. And if you really miss the fizz of soda, try sparkling water with a splash of 100% fruit juice. It gives you the flavor without the sugar overload. And if you're someone who loves their morning juice, try swapping it for a real piece of fruit instead. Eating the whole fruit gives you fiber, which slows down the sugar absorption and keeps you fuller longer. Plus, you get all the vitamins and antioxidants your body actually needs. Now let's shift to something that might surprise you, and that's low-fat or fat-free packaged snacks. You know, the ones guilt-free cookies, rice cakes, flavored yogurts labeled light or fat-free. These are often marketed as healthy, especially for older adults trying to cut back on calories or cholesterol. But don't let the labels fool you. When food companies take the fat out of a product, they usually have to add something else back in to make it taste good. And that something is almost always sugar, artificial sweeteners, or processed starches. So you end up eating something that has less fat, but more chemicals, more sugar, and zero real nutrition. It's like swapping one problem for another. And here's the thing. Your body needs healthy fats, especially as you age. Your brain is made up of nearly 60% fat. Your hormones, your joints, your skin, they all depend on it. So cutting out fat entirely can actually make you feel more tired, more mentally foggy, and even more achy. Instead of reaching for low-fat packaged foods, choose real, whole options. A handful of nuts, full-fat plain yogurt, a slice of avocado on whole-grain toast. These foods not only nourish your body, but they keep you satisfied. They give you long-lasting energy without the crash. And they don't come with a long list of ingredients you can't pronounce. Now I know all of this might sound like a lot. You might be thinking, I've been eating this way for decades and I'm still here. And that's true, you've made it this far, and that's something to celebrate. But what we're really talking about here is not just living longer. It's about living better, more energy, less pain, sharper thinking, more freedom to do what you love, without being slowed down by inflammation, fatigue, or illness. And the beauty is, it doesn't take a radical change. You don't need to throw out everything in your kitchen or follow some strict diet plan. You just need to start noticing what your body is telling you. Pay attention to how you feel after certain meals. Are you energized or exhausted? Are your joints looser or tighter? Is your mind clear or cloudy? Even small shifts, swapping that morning juice for water with lemon, trading in the deli sandwich for a homemade one with roasted chicken, skipping the fat-free cookies for a square of dark chocolate and some almonds, they all add up. Every smart choice becomes an investment in your future, in your mobility, your independence, your joy. And let me tell you something from the heart. You are not too old to make these changes. It's not too late. Your body is listening to you even now. It wants to heal. It wants to thrive. You just have to give it the right tools. There's still one more food we need to talk about. One that's especially sneaky and one that can have a major impact on how you feel every single day, especially if you're dealing with joint pain, stiffness, or bloating, and that food is refined vegetable oils. You'll find them in almost everything these days, from salad dressings and fried foods to store-bought snacks, baked goods, and even so-called healthy frozen meals. Oils like soybean, corn, canola, and sunflower might seem harmless, especially since we're told they're plant-based. But the way they're processed strips away the nutrients and leaves behind something your body has a really hard time dealing with, especially as you get older. The problem isn't just that these oils are everywhere. It's that they're high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when omega-6s are out of balance with omega-3s, which happens very easily in a modern diet, they trigger inflammation. And inflammation is at the root of almost every chronic disease we fear most: heart disease, arthritis, Alzheimer's, even certain cancers. If you've been dealing with stiff joints, brain fog, or fatigue that doesn't seem to go away, these oils could be part of the problem. What makes it tricky is that these oils don't always show up clearly on labels. They're often hidden in processed foods under names like vegetable oil blend or just oil. That's why it's so important to take control of what you cook with and be mindful of the ingredients in packaged foods. So what's the better option? Cooking with extra virgin olive oil is a wonderful place to start. It's rich in antioxidants, supports heart health, and actually helps reduce inflammation. Another great choice is avocado oil. It has a high smoke point, making it perfect for cooking. Coconut oil is also a good alternative in moderation, especially for baking or sautéing. If you enjoy butter, choose grass-fed when you can. And instead of bottled salad dressings filled with hidden oils and sugar, try making your own with olive oil, lemon juice, and a little mustard or honey. It's simple, delicious, and so much better for your body. When you start removing these harmful oils and replacing them with healthier fats, your body begins to respond. You may notice your skin looks brighter, your digestion improves, your thinking becomes sharper, and that nagging joint pain starts to ease. It's like giving your body a breath of fresh air, and it all starts with what you choose to cook with. So, we've now talked about 5 foods that can quietly work against your health after 60. White breads and refined grains, processed meats, margarine and trans fats, sugary drinks and refined vegetable oils. Each one can chip away at your energy, your focus, and your long-term health. But the power to feel better, to truly thrive, is in your hands. These aren't just food swaps, they're decisions. Decisions that say, I value my health, I want to feel good, not just get by. I want to keep doing the things I love, without being held back by aches, exhaustion, or disease. And look, No one is perfect. You're going to have days when you eat something on this list. That's okay. What matters is what you do most of the time. It's the small, consistent changes that create big transformations. That extra glass of water, that real, whole food meal, that choice to read the label and ask, what's really in this? When you start stacking those good choices, one on top of the other, it creates momentum. And that momentum builds strength, not just physical strength, but the kind that comes from knowing you're in charge of your life, your habits, your future. And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, just remember, start with one thing. Maybe today you swap your margarine for olive oil. Tomorrow you try a slice of sprouted grain toast instead of white bread. That's it, one step at a time, because every smart choice you make sends a message to your body. And that message is, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and I'm still worth it. So let's make this journey one of empowerment. Let's stop settling for less just because of a number. Let's show the world and ourselves that life after 60 can be vibrant, exciting, and full of possibility. You have the wisdom. Now you have the tools. And your next chapter, it can be your strongest yet. If this video gave you something to think about, or if you've already made some of these changes in your own life, I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment below. Your experience might inspire someone else who's just starting their journey. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel for more honest, practical, and uplifting content just like this. We're building a community here, a place where age doesn't hold us back, it lifts us up. Here's to living your best life, stronger, wiser, and healthier than ever. You deserve it.